So, I don't know who's going to come into this live today. Um, Nonetheless, I would not be me if I did not come and express myself. And I'm in awe. I'm resting. And even though I feel my legs when they're healing, literally, like literally, um, my soul and my spirit feels so much at peace. Feel so much at peace. So I'm gonna start off with my experience today. I went to a spirituality conference, and yeah, just that sentence in of itself is like life is good. 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 Um, I grew up going to quote unquote spirituality conferences, but different types. Ones that were attached to religions, um, specifically the Jehovah Witness religion. And if anyone ever hears me speak about religions in general and my personal experience with religions, which I look forward to having this conversation on a much, to a much, well, I don't know how the audience can be broader because I have about maybe almost 700 subscribers here, and I don't know who actually listens to all of my episodes and things of that sort because I get the feeling that a lot of my followers are children's. And I don't, this is not a children channel, but I did get the revelation, and I'm going to get back to my subject. I got the revelation that children be on these YouTubes and their parents don't have it set up with the parental controls. So there are parental controls the parents could set on their children's phones so that they don't have access just to general YouTube. But anyway, yeah, that was revealed to me. Um, anyway, though, so their attention span is different, but some may find interest and some may actually listen to what I'm talking about. Again, this channel is not designed for them. However, there is, no lewdness per se here, But this is a channel that is designed for adults. However, I can't parent everybody. So parents have to be the ones who set the phone controls and parameters for their children. Anyway, back to the topic. Going to conferences is something that I've been doing, since I was a baby. Since I was a baby, what would they call them? They would call them. They had one name, Assembly Hall. Um, Assemblies. That's what they call them. They wouldn't call them conferences. They would call them assemblies. To be just thousands of people. I remember going to Yankee Stadium. I even remember going to Jersey City. And Jersey City is a fairly new assembly hall. So that tells you if you know a little bit about that particular religious organization of how long. Okay. I've been doing things of this sort. So, things, my spirit's been prepared. I've been being prepared since I incarnated here. And I appreciate the experiences I had with that particular religious organization because my viewpoint is of it being a school of thought. And I appreciate me having experiences with uh, Black Christian churches. I appreciate my experiences with Black movements. Um, I remember in my 20s, me coming back home to Brooklyn from all over the place. Not all over the place as far as travel, all over the place as far as chaos from my first husband and my first marriage. And, I was in Jersey for a little bit. I was in Buffalo for a little bit. I was in Pennsylvania for a little bit. I think for a little bit I was even in Massachusetts, Lowell, specifically Massachusetts, with my two children bouncing around here and there in that chaotic relationship that was traumatic. Yet getting out of it and coming back home to Brooklyn, it was like immediately I was in movements. Immediately I was with Lamont Ali, the brother that oversaw um, Committee to Honor Black Heroes. Immediately I was at Restoration Plaza and, getting involved. And, even though I was traumatized and I was wounded, like my spirit still had this fire within it to be actively a part of the solutions and to hear to hear those very words come out of respected elders who also been serving the movement for the people. When I say the movement for the people, I'm not talking about any particular movement. I'm talking about whatever they could be in that was most effective at the time. They're there. They're there. And to hear that today and to experience the interactions with the sisters and the brothers who have done the healing work within themselves to be able to see clearly and receive and perceive clearer than those who are still possibly in their healing path and process. It was amazing. It was amazing. And I was there with my son, and I was there vending, which I didn't intend to vend until last week. Last week, like if it was just me and my own mindset, never ever 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 would I have even thought about it. I would have just came and I would have just interacted, and I wouldn't have even thought about it. I wouldn't have even thought about it. But I remember when it hit my spirit, and I was like, and I invited my sister to come along with me. And this is not my blood relative sister. This is a good sister that I'm developing a good relationship with, who I hung out with yesterday. She introduced me to the supermarket I never even heard of before, called I think Leonard Stewart's or Stewart Leonard's, something of that fact. I'm probably saying this thing wrong, but farm fresh food, like they were the Whole Foods before the Whole Foods existed. And I was like, oh, okay. Took me to Michael's to get some more items I needed for my vending. And we just had a good time. Afterwards, we went and sat in massage chairs. Like, we had a good mothers by ourselves times, laughing and getting snacks and grabbing dinner just for us. And it was such a good experience. It was such a good experience. So yeah, I invited her to come and vend with me. She has smaller children. Her children are in junior high school, boys. So I get it. I get it as a mom. I get where she is right now, and it was just a good experience just to spend time with her. And today was just an amazing experience. It was an amazing, absolutely experience. I had a good time. I had a good time. It was good to see and experience my son's evolution. He hung out with me all day, and we had our hits in the road today. As mothers and sons sometimes have, and I'm sure just parents in general have. I don't think that like totally eradicates ever. especially when your child is now an adult. Even when before they're adults, they have their own minds, they have their own spirits, they have their own energy. But an elder broke it down so clearly and so precisely today when he said, your children is the latest version of your ancestors. They are faster, they're quicker, they're stronger. And he didn't go into all these details, but it's like, in my mind, comparing it to like an upgraded device, basically, and hearing that, and I had the opportunity to to remind my son of that. And again, I got the opportunity to experience him. Yeah, he caught some attitudes. I caught some attitudes back with him because I was like, "How dare you?" Like I don't, you know, I'm not one of those parents that's like, "Do this, do that, do that, do that." Do that." I literally was in here, and I know it might seem like a simple thing, but hanging my curtains was a whole task. Okay, climbing that ladder. And I started the task without even all the proper tools because I did it before. Like I had hung up curtains before with a daggone screwdriver. I did it before, so I was like, I'm good. I got a screwdriver. The first slip up for me with these daggone curtains was the fact that the rods that I initially got were not big enough. I didn't get no tape measurement. I did it by eye. Oh, these ain't regular size goddamn old windows. They don't even open like a regular window. I don't lift up the window. These windows open on the side, got hooks on them and stuff. Yeah, it's different. I'm in a modern building. I'm in a modern building. And necessarily, I didn't even have to get curtains, because there's blinds. The blinds were built in, you know. But I'm homifying my space, So anyway, I did that, And in my mind, for a second, I was like, I got this able-bodied, strong young man who, again, I don't barely ask for nothing. What I ask of him is take care of yourself. Take care of yourself completely. Take care of yourself mentally. Take care of yourself spiritually. Take care of yourself physically. That's what I ask of him. I don't be like, go do this for mom, go do that for mom, do that for mom. No, I don't do that. So I felt the way when he caught his little attitudes today. Because I was like, I don't ask you for nothing much. And I have you out here, I'm trying to teach you something, put you in the right environment, connect you with people so that you can learn from in positive ways and put some money in your pockets. And you got an attitude with me because that young lady that he's so enamored with. But it's all good. He still hung out. I still did everything that I intended to do with him. So he left. He had some money in his pockets. He came with money in his pockets. He's safe. He's good. He got connected directly with um, this specific elder, and it was a good experience. He got to see, and we laughed and we joked. We laughed and we joked more than anything. He got to see how businesses do operate. I got to explain to him expenses and profits because, these are concepts that I had to really, really learn myself. When you make the initial investment in any type of business and you purchase your items and you sell your items, you feel like, oh, I've made a profit. But you actually have to sit down and compute the numbers, and everything counts. Did you travel to get the items? That's an expense. When you went to get the items, um, How did you travel? Did you take a public transportation? Did you take an Uber? However you travel, that's an expense. However you travel to get your merchandise is an expense. Same thing if you didn't travel, if you just got your items shipped to you and you're reselling them, or you had to actually um, put labor into creating the items, that's an expense, because are you going to be the person, an individual that does this, or are you going to incorporate someone else? Are you going to employ somebody else? Having him come and help me, even though I gave him incentives and to earn money, earn commission, so that he can interact directly with people and um, influence sales directly. He's always been very energetic, so he did not appreciate sitting still for long periods of time. And I'm laughing because I got to see other young people who are very similar to him when he was their age, and I'm just grateful. I'm just grateful um, to see him maturing as a man. It's a wonderful thing to be a part of and to see, and you know um, yes, it's a good thing. It's a good thing. So it was just an amazing day. It was an amazing day. He hung out with me all day. He didn't stay still, but he hung out with me all day. He got to see some young people his age that are making right choices and right decisions. He looked great, and he still hung out with his girlfriend afterwards. So all in all, it's a good day. And I came in and um, I counted it up, and I got profits, and it's like, and I just had it. It was just a wonderful experience from the start. From the start, I started off the day right. I mean, I start off my days right all the time. However, being in this last semester, sometimes I don't take as much time in the morning for myself. And that I realized today has ended. It is a must for me to take the time for myself in the morning, and that continuously evolves. My spiritual practices continuously evolve. I remember at one point I was doing a very small form of Tai Chi, um, and then I stopped, and then I was, right in front of my ancestral altar, and then that evolved, and so my practices continuously evolve. However, where I'm at today, how I started today, was really beautiful, and it wasn't rushed. It was relaxing. I had tea. It was beautiful. 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 After I finish this episode, I'm gonna put on some 432 hertz and set because I slept with that on. So I went to sleep with that yesterday. Woke up, it was still going, and I just flowed with spirit. And I said, I know that there's time, um, responsibilities. When I say time responsibilities, like, okay, this starts at a certain time and this ends at a certain time, and I'm aware of that, but I'm also aware of how spirit moves. And even though these times, things that was structured by us humanities, you still have to allow spirit to be spirit. You can't be like, okay, this is what it is, and this is how it's got to be, and this is boom. Because spirit has its own technology and it has its own ways of moving. So I'm aware of that, and it was perfect, like I said, from the start. Um, I had to the interactions between me and my son with the little tubes that came up. They didn't happen just at the event. They happened way before we got there. When I had to check myself several times and say, look at this, like, look at this good stuff that's happening. Look at the fact that he's trying. Look at the fact that he showed up. Look at all of these positive things and focus mostly there and let him know that you see his efforts. Let him know that you're proud of him. Let him know these things. And I gotta share some of my snacks with him, but I wasn't sharing my favorite snacks because I didn't prepare to share my favorite snacks. But he definitely was up in my fridge. And I made breakfast and it was good. It was just a good start. And so now we get to the location of the conference, and there's several entrances to come in. And because I have items and because of my wonderful healing legs, I specifically choose the entrance that I normally come in at. And this entrance that I normally come in at, I get reminded today is closed. So I'm like, oh, okay. Well, the person who's reminding me has no idea of the conditions of my legs, you know. And I don't make it a whole statement. I'm just like, okay, so if I send this able bodied young man, the strong, latest technology of my lineage, young man, to come in another entrance, uh, is he able to open this door for me? And he's like, yeah, he can. I'm like, okay, cool. So that's the task that I assigned to my son. And he's on task. And as I'm waiting there, holding these items patiently in the sun, weather's pretty good, pretty nice. I got my window open right now. So that tells you a little bit of the temperature changing. As I'm standing there by myself initially, waiting for him, three other sisters come. As me and the three sisters are there, another sister come. So now it is a group of sisters there at this particular entrance, and we're waiting for this young man to come, my son, to come and open the door. And so some people they'll be like, oh, you know, whatever. But for a person, especially for me, that was in tune and like, oh, like I'm here where I'm supposed to be. I'm right where I'm supposed to be, doing exactly what I'm supposed to be doing. If I would have decided to come in another way, those sisters would have not been able to get in because the person who let me know that it was locked, they could have said, well, stay right here, I'll go around and open it for you. But instead, they said, no, walk around this way. Of course, again, they were unaware, but I was aware. These sisters, maybe out of the sisters that walked up as I was standing there, two of them were young. One of them was younger than me, but the other two were elders. One of them um, traveled with Mama Joy. Mama Joy was another elder in the movement. When I say the movement, I'm talking about people, indigenous people, brown people, black people, however you want to call and label Negroes, however you want to label us. That was for the people, and in a sacrificial way. It continues to be for the people. Continues even after she has transitioned. This woman, I didn't just meet her at the Committee to Honor Black Heroes, and she was just somebody I could call and talk to on the phone. In the midst of me trying to figure and navigate life as a newly divorced, traumatized, not having any network, not having any relatives being supportive to me, and me being responsible for these two, well, at the time, actually one child, because that was after my baby girl had transitioned that I met Mama Joy. So that was even more trauma as a mom, as a parent. This lady who was taking care of her grandchildren, that had her own issues, invited me into her home, invited my son into her home. And her home was not just a regular home. Her home was part of the Underground Railroad, and it's still standing, although developers did their very best to buy her out, did their very best to make her life challenging and difficult, did their very best to knock the place down. They never succeeded, and it still stands to this day. And I love to be a part of seeing her vision come to life, which is turning it into a museum. I would love it. I would love it. But guess what I did, when I do have the opportunity to see that right next to it, it's a whole park dedicated to abolitionists. So the museum is coming. The museum is coming. The museum is coming. And again, just amazing. It's just amazing witnessing and being a part of these amazing things. So yeah, coming through the door, um, I was a part of a solution, even though the solution was just to get in. And even though my son, he got a little distracted on the way. So somebody else actually physically opened the door for us. The person who actually opened the door for us was an individual that told us initially that door was closed. But they realized, oh, even though this door is closed, I can open this door. This building that he's just repeating what he's been told, that building is actually attached to another building. And it is open. It's just there's no guard at this particular entrance. And being that there's no guard at that particular entrance, they lock it because they can't monitor it efficiently. But even during the week, most of the time, ain't no daggone guard there at that particular entrance. But that's just my 2 cents. You know what I'm saying? I just know that because I'm there during the week too. But now I'm aware that during the weekends, this is what the issue is. However, we got it done. And me and the two elders, and again, the two elders moving better than me, but nonetheless, they still were elders. Me, the two elders, and the two other ladies, us 5 ladies, were able to comfortably come in. One of the elders that came in, the one that hangs with or hung with Mama Joy, she's like, I know you. I know you. She is from my hometown, and but it was my first time physically meeting her, you know, and I know what that experience is like. I know what it is to see somebody that's so familiar. You're like, I know you. I have those experiences too. So a lot of times, so I'm at the end of receiving that, then giving that. But I gave that a couple of times today, and it was just, again, it was just amazing. It was just amazing from the start to the finish. So now I'm back home, and I'm grateful. It's a new year. I'm learning about all of these um, astronomical events, this 00. I'm just like, wow. And again, I started the day good, and I took a nice nap. I'm just getting up from my nap and decided to come and do this episode, and again made profits, and just have a wonderful experience, and know, and even though I intended to be at 2 places because there was another very important event happening simultaneously, I listened to my spirit. I listened to my spirit and listened to my body. My body was like, ma'am, you about to do this extra, extra, extra walking? And even though the place was not far, I say, you know what? This is their first gathering. They chose the right space to gather at. They're having the right conversations. I may not physically be there, but that part of me that is a part of us all is right there. So I may not consciously, in this conscious example of this force, be present, but I'm still present because the bigger part of me is absolutely present. And the fact that I got an invitation to this conversation at this space is confirmation that I'm there. It's confirmation that these things are coming together, that must come together, that are a part of solutions. And I am so, so grateful. I got the opportunity to um, be philanthropic today. Philanthropy is one of my goals. I got the opportunity to do that and to invest into a space, and you know, it's not an astronomical amount now, but every bit counts. You know, and as I made that choice to do that, I was reminded of the choices I made along the way because of the platform that I forgot about. I forgot about this platform even existed. But I put in my email on this platform. They're like, "Oh, you gave to Stephanie. She's a councilwoman out in Brooklyn, and you also donated to this person." And there's a record of my donations over the years. And again, not large, but every bit. It doesn't matter the amount. People get so stuck up on those things. And even, okay, let's talk about my vending experience. I thought it was perfect. I felt as if it was perfect. And not just because I sold all of the pieces that I had made, but because of number one, the location. And people tried to come in and they tried to impose their limited thoughts on me. "Why you over here by yourself?" One lady asked me, "Why you in the corner? Ma'am, does this look like a corner to you?" And be funny. You can mail me a piece. Put girl by. Girl by. I can mail you a piece. If this the piece you like, then you go get the piece. I wish you had something smaller. I'm sorry somebody bought that one. These other ones are smaller. Oh, but I specifically want this. Girl, bye. Girl, bye. Bye. If what you want, if you want it for real, you would get it. But I did the whole business lady thing. You know, I didn't even know who she was. I forgot about her, to tell you the honest truth. I don't be holding people's images and energy at all, okay? She had to remind me, "Oh, I'm over here." No, I didn't, girl. I forgot who the heck you was. She had to write her name down for me to remember. And I was like, "Oh," in my head afterwards, like, oh, oh, yeah, no, whatever. You gonna come throw some shade and then act like, "Please, girl, bye." And that'd be the funny part to me with people, because I had several people, only a few of them was like, "Ugh, I didn't even." It was interesting. It was just interesting. It was just interesting. I was right where I was supposed to be all day long. I liked the fact where I was at. I appreciated the fact of where I was at. Like, it was a table that was by itself, and it was in front of some handmade art. So here I am, uh, an artist with my handmade items in front of a display of other handmade items and making sales right where I'm at. I don't have to be with everybody else to be effective and to be efficient. And that is something that I'm grateful to have learned. Yes, I will come and I will commune. However, I must move as my own spirit moves me to move. And I don't need to explain that to no one. I don't need no one else to understand it, because those who are in tuned to the depths that I am in tuned, and when I say, I mean deep, when I'm saying, hopefully, my enunciation. Somebody said it so great today. The English language is not suffice to um, sometimes just accurately commune the, the deepness. I'll say it like that. The deepness of the energy, and that was such a profound statement, because it's so accurate, it's so true. Because but when you can utilize this broken language to communicate effectively, the deepness, I'm gonna say that, because deepness sounds better than the quote unquote correct way of to describe deepness. when you can when you can be sort of a wordsmith. A great wordsmith that I absolutely admire is Dr. Michael B. Beckwith. Ooh, that brother wordsmith, man, oh man, oh man, oh man, oh man. So that's a skill and a gift within of itself, And so some people are just not that deep. They may have been doing things for a certain amount of time, but to go deep, it's just not doing something repetitively. To go deep is also to surrender, and also to be open to expanding. Not like, okay, I've gotten to this point and I've gotten these things and I'm just gonna stop here. Expansion and deepness does not stop. It's infinite. It goes on and on and on and on and on and on. So you don't reach a certain point and be like, "Oh, I'm here. I've arrived." Even if you are given a title, even if you are given responsibilities and duties, it's not like, "Oh, here I am. I have arrived." No, you have arrived where? Where have you arrived to? You have arrived to the heights of humanity. Well, humanity is ever expanding. You have arrived to the heights of mankind. You can you know about things other people don't know about, and so what does that privy you to? That privy you to more accountability. That privies you to more responsibility. That privies you to more self-control. That privies you to more service. That does not privy you to be manipulative, to think that you are more than what you are. Another wise person said something, and they were just, they had to clarify for the people, like, listen, there's some great things that's going on, and I'm not just hearing about these great things. I'm a part of these great things, but don't get it twisted. The point is not me being a part of the great things. The point is the great things happening. And whoever is supposed to be a part of these great things, be a part of these motherfucking great things. Whoever. I don't care about this stuff. I appreciate this stuff. I use this stuff responsibly. But I care about the great things. And the fact that I was able to see these great things and come back and let you know about these great things, and encourage you, and whoever, be a part of these great things. Follow your own inner guidance. We all are connected, and this is me now expanding on. on that thought. And I got the opportunity to hear that come from an elder. And it's wonderful. It's wonderful because it's confirmation. It's confirmation. Our egos, you know, do serve a purpose. They're not supposed to, like all parts of us serve purposes. Our ears have one purpose, our nose have another purpose, our eyes have another purpose. None is superior. The only thing that is superior to the physical aspects and even the psychological aspects of us, the one thing that is superior is our divinity. That's the only superiority within us. And that superiority, our divinity, the God, Goddess, those forces, a universal force of life that is within everyone, should be the superiority everywhere. However, one has to do their own individual personal work to be aware of that. Because once you're aware of that, you don't take anything personal. You'll see people's behaviors, people's responses, and you don't take it personal. You don't take it personal. People then they chitter chatter. People people doing the things that they did. None of it. First of all, y'all don't even know me personally. Second of all, a person's behavior is reflective of themselves and where they are within their own personal walk in their own personal incarnation. So, listen, it's all good. It's all good. Like I said, I enjoyed every bit, every bit of it was enjoyable to me, and even even the parts that was challenging, like with my family, my Jovan, the person that I gave birth to, you know, I shifted. I shifted. I didn't stay. I went. I walked out. I said, Spirit, what do I need to do? Because I know I'm doing what needs to be done. But now he's still like giving me this attitude. He's trying to rush me. Hurry up and pack up, Mom. Hurry up. Hurry up. I want to go. I got plans. I'm like, relax. Like, this is business. And learning and growth and community. You know, the thing didn't even end until 6 o'clock. Everybody ready to go. I'm relaxing. Like, shoot, I'll stay until shit. Till everybody leave. Shoot, I don't feel like I'm visiting. I feel like this this space, this school is a part of that. I'm a part of it, and it's a part of me. If that makes sense. Again, we're using this English language, but I don't ever feel, you know, rushed. Shit, it's always the opposite actually. The school is always like, hey, stay a little longer. Even me preparing for graduation, hey, you work here, right? You work here. You work here. You got to be one of the professors. No, no, I'm not yet. I had a lady, one of the administrators, talk about, I'm sorry I didn't send you your curriculum. What, ma'am? Ma'am, I don't work here yet. It's gonna be a couple of years before I work here. Let's I magically get my master's in 6 months. And with the way the world's set up now, ain't no telling. It probably is a way for me to get my master's in 6 months. But ma'am, unless that happens, I am not an adjunct yet, ma'am. I am not a faculty yet. Although your computers and everything else would definitely make it seem as such. Because I don't know why when I go into my when I sign in to my student portal, I see all these other features. Why are these features even available? Why are these features available? It should just be student this and student that. But when I sign in with my credentials, I don't just see student this and student that. I see faculty, I see employee. I'm like, and I, you know me, I clicked on it. I clicked on it because it's a universal system. That's why. But I clicked on it. I clicked on it. I sure did. And of course, once I clicked on it, those were just portals to go into other systems. So it's a universal system, but then there's in the universal system, there is different systems. So when I clicked on it, they asked me for some extra credentials, which I didn't have. I was like, oh, okay, all right, all right, all right. I get you, Spirit. You just trying to prepare me. But it's not just Spirit. It's people. It's people that have been there for years who think that I already are is in these positions. It bugs the heck out of me. And everybody, it'd be different. It was just like one or two. It'd be different. But from the students to the actual employees to the actual faculty feels like I'm faculty already. And it blows my freaking mind. And it's funny and it's ironic. And I'm just like, okay, if that's what I'm supposed to do in a few years, so okay. Like, but I'm not doing it now. Right now, I'm a graduating student. That's what I am. I know you guys think I'm a colleague, and in some ways in life, yes. But yeah, that space, that space don't ever. I don't ever feel rushed. The only time I've ever felt like I need to depart from this space right now was when my feelings were a certain way. And I was like, I honor this space so much. I'm not even going to stay in this space feeling this way because this is not a space that is just for me. This is a space that's for everybody. So when I come to this space, when I'm in this space, I'm not just in this space for me, I'm also contributing. And I want to be responsible with what I am contributing to this space. So let me go into a space that is just for me, my home, and of course, my home is for my family and my loved ones as well to share with. But this is a space where I could come in and I could feel however the heck I want to, happy, joyful, angry. And that particular day, I was disappointed and angry to a point where I haven't felt that depth of uh, emotion in a long time. Like it was, I think I've talked about it here on my channel. To describe it, it felt like it was grief and it was anger, and I felt like I've only felt that depth in a situation where the two can't be the same. Like these situations are not the same. These situations are not the same. Having a loved one transition versus being fired. It's not the same. I'm laughing now because I had to again check myself and I had to get accuracy of what the heck was going on and why it felt the way it felt because it should have never felt the way it felt. But once now I have clarity of why it felt the way it felt and my own misperception to what the hell was happening versus what I felt in that moment, it was like, oh. First of all, I wasn't fired because I was never hired. That's number one. Number two, uh, Yeah, yes, no, no, yeah, I had already in my mind at the beginning of my last, what you call it, I already put out there what I want it to be, fun and easy and smooth, and I have to surrender. After I put that out there, I have to surrender. And if I would have stayed in that particular space that I was in, those things wouldn't have been happening because there's an individual in that space who's not really comfortable with my energy, and they make it evident ever so often. So I'm like, oh, okay. Listen. I'm not gonna push it. Home girl, home fry. I ain't gonna push it. We don't gotta be cool. We don't gotta be cool. But I would appreciate, I don't give a crap how you feel towards me, honestly. I would appreciate if how you feel within yourself would not be projected in this space. And I know you feel because you're quiet, you're not projecting, but there's a reason why when my energy was more in this space, more people were coming. It's a reason why. It's a reason why certain things are not growing in certain ways. It's the reason why, darling. And I know you feel like everything's good because you're doing everything you're told to do, but it's more than just doing what you're told to do. It's about actually caring without judgment of the success and growth of individuals. Because that's what this is supposed to be for. This is a space and an opportunity for people to grow and to connect and to become better versions of themselves within a safe environment, because we deal with so much in these other spaces, and this is not a space where a person should have to come and downgrade themselves and box themselves up. Yes, we want to have order. Yes, we want to have standards, but having order and having standards and boxing yourself up, it's two different things. It's two different things. People want to feel, again, safe in spaces. And how can they feel safe in spaces when you're judging them? Where you're looking at them a certain way, whether you're saying it or not, you're judging them. I remember a lady coming in there, and I don't know where she was at, but she came in there in her genuine self, being her genuine self. And my response was, hey, have some coffee, have a seat, relax. It's a safe space. I don't know what that lady's dealing with on the outside. All she shared with me was she's trying to build something. And I can relate to how it feels when you're building something and you have these other forces that don't want to see you be successful in what you're building. So you're not just gathering the pieces and the spaces to put together to build, you're also fighting. You're fighting while you're building. That's a motherfucking task in of itself. So sit down, have some coffee. So be all right. Thank you for sharing what you're building. I'm gonna communicate this to others. So hopefully you can find the people that will help you build, and less of the people that's too worried about you being in a certain position. Because that's another thing people be worried about. Oh, I don't want to see you at that position. You want to see what? What? What's going on here? I'm gonna need you to self-reflect. I'm gonna need you to look in the mirror. What do you mean? Is this a position that's going to be helpful and be of service? It don't matter who is there. What matters is the efficiency. Is the position helping? Yes? Great. Do it. Do it with your whole heart. It don't matter, or you don't seem like, or you don't act like, and This is not a position for an actor. This is a position for someone who has the passion and the soul and the vision and the gumption to actually do it regardless of how anybody else feels about it. Because this is what their spirit is set to do. So yeah, I witness these things. And again, I don't care how they act. I'm strong. Girl, please, bye. And I'ma say it. You is still living with your mama, and your mama is still living. You don't even recognize how good that you got it. You don't even realize. You worried about little small things, but girl, please, please. You go ahead and say all your little every statement you say about me. It get back to me. It get back to me. So don't think when I'm cordial, it's because I'm unaware. I'm unaware this person doesn't care for me. I don't care that you don't care for me. Because I ain't do nothing to you. And even if I did, what the hell? What was it? What was it? Oh, you mad? I called you out. And I called you out in a way you wasn't accustomed to. I didn't call you out like you used to. People calling you out in the hood. I ain't come to you with hoodematics and ebonics and ghettoism, even though we all know, we all know the Brooklyn in me easily could have done that. But what would that have resolved? Not a goddamn thing. So I did my best of what I had the knowledge of trying to find a solution and just pointed out the actions, thinking if I point out these things, perhaps you will self-reflect and look at yourself. Oh, girl, I ain't self-reflecting nothing. She ain't a self-reflecting nothing. She's still exactly where she was. And I'm like, oh, I go away, come back like maybe she grew some. She ain't grown none. She ain't grown none at all yet. I hope she does. I pray she grows. She's in a position to teach others and to be influential in a positive way. But here's the thing, boo boo. Here's the thing, boo boo. If you don't self-reflect and you don't grow within yourself, please trust and believe and know that spirit will position an individual who is growing, who is self-reflecting, who is evolving, who is not stuck on little tiny things, looking at what somebody is doing and how they doing it, but rather looking at what's the effect. I couldn't imagine wanting to be supportive and seeing people be at their best and then seeing the space that I'm in grow and then feeling a way about it. Like feeling a way like, oh no, oh no, not that, not, mm-mm. So it is what it is. I will continue to be me. I will continue to grow. I will continue to see things for exactly for what they are. Continue to wish people wellness and to be at their best and be unbothered by other people's opinions. Be totally unbothered. Not take any of it personal because, again, another person's behavior, even behavior towards me, has absolutely nothing to do with me. It is a reflection of themselves, and people always reveal themselves, whether they intentionally or unintentionally. They always reveal themselves. And some people who are so distracted may not notice, may not be paying attention, may have their own issues, challenges, duties, where, again, they don't notice, they're not paying attention, but I see everything I'm supposed to see. And I'm grateful to be exactly where I'm supposed to be. And I hope this episode has inspired, motivated whoever my listeners are to self reflect and to choose to focus their energies on the things that are working, the things that are good in their lives, and be reminded that each person listening to my podcast, be reminded that you have direct, direct access to divinity. You have direct access to the universal power that governs everything. You have direct access to that power. So don't you allow anyone to tell you, oh, you can only get here if you listen to me. You can only get here if you go this way. There are infinite ways to recognize and to be aware and remember that you have direct access to this universal power that governs literally everything. So don't get caught up in egotistical governance. Don't take it personal. Don't allow your energy to be too much put into those things because I'm telling you, and I'm going to just say this because it's the truth, if more people ignored the administration in this particular nation, the United States of America, the foolery would cease to exist. It feeds off of your attention. It feeds off of your energy, because you have divinity inside of you. So you are allowing your divinity and your attention and your energy to be put towards something that is not constructive for the all. Ignore the nonsense. Be aware. Know that this force that governs everything is going to direct you exactly how you're supposed to move. Exactly. And move in accordance. But don't spend a lot of time over there. Put your power, your attention, your energy into the things that are going to build you up to be your healthiest, your happiest, your best version of yourself. And not just physically, because everybody up in the gym, and it's okay to be up in the gym, but you are more than the physical aspect you see when you look in the mirror. You are also your mind. You are also the biggest part of you is that part that's connected to everything. The God, the divinity inside of you. So as you work on your body, also work on your mind. Also get more in tune with the bigger part of you, your divinity. Also do those things. I guarantee you, it is a guaranteed recipe for success. It ain't gonna look like everybody else's because you are unique. Your experiences are unique. Your makeup is unique. Embrace your uniqueness. Embrace your divinity. And then from your overflow, serve. With your gifts, serve. With your passion, prosper in good, healthy ways. And inspire the same in others. And don't feel it or take it personal if people don't receive that, because they're only going to receive what they allow themselves to receive. It's okay. Still do you, boo. And thank you so much for tuning in to the Super Tea Podcast Show. I'll be here tomorrow for Soulful Sundays. And in regards to the new episode that I was looking to implement, the Self Love Club, the Self Love Club, I must exercise that on a daily basis. And it's called the Self Love Club for a reason because I intend for it to be a club of folks who are loving on themselves and we work together. And I didn't experience that in my first episode. I experienced me after doing my regular show, after I did my bit of service, me showing up by myself. Now I did get a heads up from one person. They was like, "Sorry, I'm going to eat with my boo." And I was like, "Well, thank you for giving me the heads up." But the other person, they just didn't show up. And I was just like, "Okay, um, I love you. I want to see you succeed. However, um, I gotta give you space to do that. I gotta give you space to do that. And we will cross paths and we will work together as you do what you need to do for you and let go of what and who you need to let go of. And this person I love her unconditionally, but I must practice my own self-love and release. And again, I would love to work with this person once they are in a better space within themselves. And I wish them getting there as smoothly as possible. Not as quickly, as smoothly as possible. You know, and I'm grateful that they have the necessities they need in order to to just function. And you know, as a mother with an adult child, I know from experience that we never stop mothering. We never stop wanting the best for our children, even once they become adults. But we must allow them to be adults. We must not hold on to them tightly because we're afraid of what they're going to face out there in the world. We must allow them to gain strength from being out there in the world. We must allow them to find their own paths and grow at their own pace. Because when we hold on to them, then it becomes a battle between us. And as their parents, as their loving parents, we're not here to battle with them. We're here to love. We're here to teach. We're here to guide. And once they have become adults, we must let them go. We can work together, but working together is both adults making that choice. So we can't work together just because we're the parent and because we love them and we know we're giving them the right information. They have to accept the right information. They have to apply the right information. And they have the freedom to find what is right for them. And we must allow them to do that. Our fear and even our wisdom and even our knowledge cannot trap them and hold them so close to us that they don't have the opportunity to experience life for themselves. So that's the issue. One of the issues with that particular friend of mine's. Um, Her daughter is grown, and you know she's finding it challenging to release her daughter into the world. And I get that completely as a mother. Um, but that is the best thing to do. Give them the instruction, give them the guidance, be there, but also release them. And it sounds contradictory, but it is the truth of the matter. Um, I had another friend who was not here in the flesh anymore because she did not do that in her mind, in her heart. She was doing the right thing by holding on to her adult daughter. But her adult daughter was traumatized. Her adult daughter was hurt. And she was not working on bettering herself. And so she allowed some man to plant a seed in her, to have her look at her mother as her opponent and have her physically, even though it's the choice she made, physically attacked her own mother. Fast forward a month after that attack, her mother is no longer in the physical with us. So again, us as mothers releasing our adult children, it's important. And even in the midst of everything that is happening, when we know, when we are aware that each person has divinity within us, that eradicates the fear. It doesn't eradicate the concern as a parent. It doesn't eradicate the concern as a father or a mother, but it eradicates the fear. Because what are you fearful of when you know you have divinity inside of you, and therefore your offspring also has divinity inside of them? So you don't need to be dictating their lives. You need to be reminding them. And even if their ears are not open to hear you, the best way as a parent, mother and father, mother or father, you can remind your offspring that they got divinity within themselves. It's for you to be tuned in and tapped into your own divinity. That's the best way to teach them, by example. And on that note, I'm going to close this episode because we know I'll talk for hours. I've already been talking since what? Over an hour. Again, thank you for tuning in to the SupaTea podcast show. It's different over here. It's not your typical podcast. I'm not looking for subscribers. Um, You'll know when I'm being interactive. Me doing a live is not me saying, let's interact. It's me saying, yes, divinity, whatever is meant to flow through me and to share with the masses, I'm utilizing this platform to do so. Catch Soulful Sundays. That's a bit more interactive. But if you're looking for an interactive podcast, this ain't the place. This is the place to remind you and for me to share and catalog my experiences so that I'm also reminding myself. Thank you again for tuning in to the Super Tea podcast show. Be and stay well, grow and be better, because better people co-create a better world. That's the only way it's going to be. It's the only way it can be. Peace.